Hello everyone, today we are going to start a new journey and in this video I'm going to start a new fortress in Dwarf Fortress, and I'm also going to explain you and show you how you can apply the project management principles, basic project management concepts while I'm playing Dwarf Fortress. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Let's review the requirement, the project requirement we have in this new series. I'm going to cover a project and operation. So I have a project requirement and I also have operation requirements. This is the project requirement, pretty much similar to what we have done in previous video. We used to, I think around 3 or 4 months back, we used to run a fortress. We built a fortress and I explained the project management concept, but at that moment we only had the project requirements. Here, if you remember this run, the videos are available on the YouTube, but you can see here we had only the project requirement. We didn't have the operation requirement, and it was a quite fun journey that we had together, right? We covered many different concepts, but now I want to rerun the project, and now I want to include also a little bit of operations, part of the requirement. So we are going to create the fortress and set up the operation as well to run the fortress. Before I want to jump into the main topic, I want to start with the basic concept of the project management, and I want to discuss with you how the project will initiate. Okay, if you look at here, we have a very simple requirement. Here we have a requirement. We are going to review this later, but just for now, this is a requirement. But I want to discuss an important concept with you, and because I received many questions for clarification regarding the point that I want to explain you here. So I decided to try to explain it, and I hope you also understand this point. When we have a contract, no, let's start from here. Okay, so generally when a project starts, it's coming from a request from a customer. Okay, there is someone that has a need, and that project is going to fulfill that needs. Okay, so generally a customer or a company as a customer is going to write a document. We call it RFP, or request for proposal, and share with different people, individuals, companies, vendors. And so what happened is, company is going to create a proposal, then other people, individuals or vendors, provide proposals in response to RFP, and if everything was fine, the customer was happy with the proposal, vendor or the person who proposed the solution was also happy with everything, all good, they have, both parties are reached an agreement, then at the end they come up with the contract, which is very important. Okay, so RFP, request for proposal, then they provide proposal, and proposal is in response to RFP, and based on the agreement they made, then they end up to sign a contract. Contract is basically to clarify what exactly solution provider or the person who is going to fulfill the customer needs is going to provide. What is in the scope, what is outside of the scope is basically the contract. The financial part, the scope part, everything is clarified in the contract. Okay, so far so good. It's a best practice. You can find it in any companies around the world. It's very basic, right? But if we look at this, if we try to engage it a little bit from project management perspective, what happened is you have a contract, and contract is cover a lot of points. The contract can be up to, for example, 200 pages, 300 pages, right? So the contract is very detailed. Then, based on the project management best practice, project owner, okay, is going to write a document in project management literature. We call it project charter. Okay, project charter basically explain a little bit the scope. Okay, it's a high level description of the scope that is for the project, and also the most important part is inside of the project charter, project owner select and assign the project to a project manager. Okay, this is a very important concept, that project manager get authority to handle the projects through the project charter. So it basically means it is not responsibility of the project manager to write the project charter. It is the responsibility of the project owner to write the project charter and assign a project manager to the project charter. I know in many cases you say, oh, I was a project manager and company asked me to provide the project charter. Yeah, it happened. It happened a lot, but you need to understand that if you are a project manager, first of all, it's not your responsibility. If the company push you to provide the project charter, it's fine, you can write it, but the project owner, the person who is going to give you the project, is responsible to sign and approve it. That's very important. Okay. Another critical point here is, after approval on project charter, project manager is responsible to write a project scope statement. The project scope statement, as you can see, cover a broader it's like expanded version of the project charter. It has more details, and project manager, this time project manager is responsible to create this document. But important point is, project chart, if we want to compare contract, technical proposal contract, or even the proposal with the project charter and the project scope statement, this artifact is much bigger and more details compared to project charter and project scope statement. Okay, and now a valid question raised, mostly it happened from top management. When we have a contract with complete details, why we have to write a project charter and why we are creating project scope as main statement? It's annoying. Everything is available in the document. Why you are not going to read the document? Why you created a new small document and asked me to review and approve it? This is a conversation that happened a lot in the companies, especially in those companies that they didn't have a maturity understanding of the project management principles and project management concepts. But still, if you refer to the best practices in project management literature, you will see that the project charter and project scope statements, although recently these artifacts renamed a little bit but still valid, is mandatory, and in many standards, frameworks or methodologies, They refer to these two artifacts, and you will see in the discussion in management project, even maybe the project manager, the person who assigned as a project manager, may not have enough understanding on this concept to answer this question. So here I want to explain you why these two documents is important, although the contract with full details are available. Okay. As you can see, a customer, project owner, and project manager here are three different entities, three different persons. Project manager normally not involved in this phase to write the contract, RFP, proposal. Normally they engage after the contract sign, okay? Because before the contract sign, there is no project, there is no agreement between customer and the vendor to deliver the project. So normally it happened that the project manager assigned to the project after the contract. And it's very, very critical and important that the project manager understand what exactly he or she is responsible to deliver. That's a very, very important and crucial point. If project manager didn't understand properly what exactly he needs to deliver, then there is a high chance of project failure. There is a high chance of delivering something else, something unfavorable for the customer, and it creates a conflict, it creates escalation, and it's not good for any stakeholder in the project. Okay, right? So when the project owner write the project charter, assign it to the project manager, and project manager write the project scope statement in response to project charter, then all three parties have a chance to look at the document and see that, okay, now we are sure that the project owner and project manager understood very well what exactly is in the scope of project and what exactly they need to deliver. Because if customers say, okay, we have a contract, we should rely on contract, okay, and project manager read and also consider that the contract is like, for example, 300-400 pages. Project manager may read or not, or an email may confirm, okay, I understood everything, but you cannot be sure, right? So when you have the project scope statement, it's like 3-4 pages, it's not a big deal. But when you read the project scope statement that is written by project manager, then you can be sure, at least you can increase your confidence that the project manager also is on the same page, are in the same page of understanding. All parties understand the same thing for the delivery, the end delivery. But if a project manager is not writing the project scope statement, then you can the level of uncertainty in this point is, honestly, it's a little bit high, and it can create a big problem during the project execution and the project delivery. So the intention in project management literature, the intention to have a project charter and project scope statement, although the contract is available with complete detail, is to make sure the project owner and project manager and the customer, all these key parties, have the same understanding on the project delivery. That's the main goal here. Okay. So I hope you got this point. This is a very important concept. Now let's say the project scope statement also reviewed by the project owner or customer and it's approved. Okay, now let's continue. The next step here, as you can see, contract, project charter, project scope statement is written, clarified, and approved by all parties. The next step, based on the project management concept, is to write a work breakdown structure. I already created the work breakdown structure here. Let me specify the levels. This is the level 1, right? This is level 0. This is level 1 on the WBS, and this is level 2, and this is level 3. The whole project is broken in basically 3 levels, 3 sub levels, and work breakdown structure is very important artifact in project management. Although, as I mentioned here, the next step is the work breakdown structure. Remember, there are exceptions. The exception is the methodology that you are going to use for project management. I am not going to open up this topic here because it's not related to the purpose of this discussion, this video, but for your information I can give you a hint. There is a book, Effective Project Management. Let me write it here. Effective Project Management, Dr. Wisoki, if I'm not wrong, is this book. I highly recommend this book for you. Try to read this book and you will understand why I'm saying having work breakdown structure is not always the case, and in what situation you need to provide, in what situation we can just ignore it or escape it. This is a really amazing book. I really recommend it. Okay, now back to our journey. So here because we are doing a kind of basic project management, and we are doing the traditional method, we are doing traditional way of project management. We are creating the work breakdown structure. Okay, so if you followed me so far, what we have done is the first step was to clarify the scope, project charter, contract, project charter, and project scope statement. And I hope you got it correct. You got it well, that why we need a project scope statement or project charter, and when we already have the contract. I hope this point is now clear for you. Then the next step was to create the WBS. I already created the WBS, work breakdown structure, based on the requirement. Remember, this work breakdown structure should be aligned with the project requirement, and also should be aligned with the contract. This one also should be aligned with the contract. It doesn't make sense that you have something in your work breakdown structure that is not mentioned in the contract. Then it means something is really wrong. So all the artifacts that we discussed so far must be aligned together. Contract, project charter, project scope statement, project requirement, and the work breakdown structure. All of them should be aligned together. Okay, so if you have, for example, if you have a work package here, warehouse here, but the warehouse is not mentioned in the requirement, something is wrong. If you have a warehouse in the WBS mentioned in the requirement, but it's not available in the contract, something is wrong. You need to discuss with the stakeholders and see how you can justify it, you can fix it. Either you need to remove it, or even maybe they need to revise the contract, include add an extension to the contract to include it part of the project. It can also happen. It's normal that they forgot to mention the point during the writing the contract, and later on when you are in details for the planning, you notice that okay, there is this part is missing, and you need to include it. Okay, you discuss with the stakeholders, project owner, project customer, and they need to agree on some point that either you have to include it or exclude it. Okay, but the important point here is when you write the WBS, when you write the work breakdown structure, whatever mentioned in the work breakdown structure must be aligned with the project requirement and must be aligned with the contract. Okay, and of course the contract also should be aligned with the RFP and also should be the proposal, because when things goes nasty, when the fights start, and believe me, it happened, when escalation happen, when during these fights with the customer, you need to make sure that everything is smooth and aligned with the contract, with the scope, with the project requirements. If the proposal is not aligned with the contract, most probably you're gonna have a huge fight with customer that why the contract is not aligned with the proposal. Customer may refer to the RFP, say, since day one I asked for this, why you didn't include in the contract, you cheated, you hide it. Okay, this kind of argument with the customer can happen, it always happen. Okay, and for project manager it's really important to reduce the risk of these kind of I can say negative communication with customer as much as possible. To prevent these cases, the best way is whatever artifact you provide, double check if it's aligned with the previous artifacts or not. WBS must be aligned with the project requirement, project scope statement, project charter, contract, and proposal and RFP. Okay, so this is the second step. Next step, based on the project management principle, project management concept, is to identify the project tasks. It's very important. And how you do it, what happened is, after you broke down the project, you created the work breakdown structure, you need to identify what we call is work package. At the lowest, for each level, if it's not broken down, it's a work package. Let me mark them here. This is a work package, a storage, because it's not broken down to any sub part. Ground area is work package. This is also work package. These are also work package, but for task identification, I don't need to break it down, because this one is, as I mentioned, this one is already broken in two parts, and I do not consider this one for task identification. I'm going to the lowest, each path I'm going to the lowest part and try to pick them for analysis and identifying task. So as I said, this one, then first floor, then I don't need to I'm not considering the second floor here, but what I'm going to do is to consider these three parts, because these three parts is basically is creating the second floor. So when I identify a task for these three, basically it means I covered all required tasks for the second floor. Then I have third floor, dining hall, and dwarf rooms. Okay, so that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so what happened next is, for task identification, what I need to do is to pick the lowest one, and now you can use different techniques here. You can use expert judgment. You can have you can discuss with the experts who had previous experience to handle this one. You can use brainstorming. You can look at the similar project that you have done in past. For example, we already created one fortress, right? And you can look at the task that you have done for this fortress, and you can try to find some similar documents from other companies that they are doing this kind of similar project to identify required task. or nowadays we are in generative AI era. We can ask generative AI to give you the list of tasks. It's kind of a help, right? It's kind of a help, and why not use it, right? So the purpose is, for each work package, you focus on the work package and try to identify what tasks are required to complete this work package. You don't need to think about the others at this moment. For example, for entrance, I already created this part here. For entrance, I broke it down into 4 tasks here. Find a place for entrance, dig into the mountain, produce entrance door deployment. 4 tasks here, right? For ground area, and I have done it for all these work packages here. Okay, so this is a step. Let me call it a step 3, and this step 3 is basically task identification. Okay. So this is the next step. So what happened is, after step 1, you develop the work breakdown structure, and then you come here and you identify the required tasks. Normally after this step, you need to use a software, you need to use a tool. For this, I'm using Microsoft Project, and if you know me, you know that how much I love and hate this software. And regardless of all negative points that I explained in my videos about the project management, this tool, Microsoft Project, still it's one of the best tools available in the world for project scheduling. Let me check the setting. Okay, all good. I think we're good to start. Automatic schedule. Okay, if you want to learn how to use Microsoft Project, I have available videos on YouTube. You can try to look at them. But here, first I want to create the WDBS inside of the Microsoft Project. First layer is Fortress. Then I have ground floor, right? Then ground floor has 2 entrance and ground area. Then I have storage. Then I have underground floors. Then I have first floor. Then for the first floor there is nothing. Then second floor. Then for the second floor I have warehouse, right? Warehouse. I know you may waiting for me to start the video game part, but these are essentials. I cannot escape these parts. Trade post, and remember, this video is not about the video game. It's about teaching and explaining and reviewing the project management concept while I'm playing the video game. Manager office, and the reason I'm using the Dwarf Fortress, because Dwarf Fortress is an amazing simulation game, and it helped me. Actually, it helped everybody to understand the project management concept. Floor and dining hall and dwarf rooms. Dining hall, dwarf rooms. Now I have the list of all. I want to create the layers. Indent, storage, underground. These are underground. These are for second floor, and these 2 is for. Okay, now let's focus on the tasks. Now task. For first one, I have here is I hope 4. Let me see if I can copy paste, make it faster. 4. Yeah, good. It's told me to do it much faster. Okay, now I have for ground area only 2. Okay, 1, 2, and okay, this is also good. Then for a storage we have 5 tasks for a storage. 5 tasks for a storage. Okay, so far so good. Oh, we have a lot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. It was for the first floor. 10. Oof, I made a mistake. Okay. Okay. 2. I'm not teaching the project, Microsoft project here. As I said, if you want to learn how I'm doing this, I have the tutorial videos, but you will see how I'm going to use Microsoft project. Create stairs for 3rd floor. Okay. Wait, I made a mistake. Warehouse? Where is the warehouse? Oh, I made a mistake here. Okay, 1st floor, 2nd floor, warehouse. Now for the warehouse, how many? 6. Okay, I made a mistake there. Okay, so let me add. I think I added enough here. Right, then these are extra. Let me. Oh, I pressed the wrong key. Okay, for the trade post, only two tasks identified for the trade post. Okay. Delete this one. For manager office we have 1, 2, 3, 4 manager office. Okay, here 3, 4. So far so good. Let me delete this one. 3rd floor, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 7. Okay. Now let me delete these 2 for 4th floor. Oh, we have dining hall. Okay, dining hall. Okay, and we have dwarf rooms. Okay. So far, I think so far so good. We already defined the work breakdown structure. We identified the required task to create the fortress, and we inserted all details, all this information inside of the software. Okay, so we're good for the next step. Next step actually is very important. The next step is resources. Why resources? Normally when you try to look at videos on YouTube or tutorials, when they are teaching the Microsoft project, after this step, they start to give the duration to the tasks, and try to link the tasks, and but I have a very important discussion on the project and task duration and project duration. Now I'm thinking, if their task relation, is it better to explain it now or explain it after I explain the resources? As a second thought, I'm thinking maybe it's better I'm doing that after the resource identification, and because when you identify a resource, those resources that are going to handle the work, they may also bring a logical link, a link between tasks that can affect your planning. So it's better for the next step. Yeah, it's much better. It's better for the next step we discuss about resource identification. So we've gone through the step 1, 2, 3. The next step is step 4, which is resource identification. But I want to hold the video for now. In next video, what we are going to do is to continue our process, our journey, to explain how you can identify required resource. And the fun part is I'm going to use Microsoft Project as a tool for resource planning and resource assignment. Okay, so it's not only the concept, to explain you the concept on this beautiful virtual whiteboard. I'm going actually use Microsoft Project as a tool to define and assign resources to your project. And I think the word is created, but the name of the resource, let's end in the next video. Whenever we identify a resource, we can run the simulation and find out who exactly are our lovely dwarfs that are going to work on our fortress. Thank you for watching. See you next time.